culture and the opportunity to see a little bit of all the cultures in each of these countries on my trip home.
Laura, kalau saya mana Jum?
Yeah. Okay, Sensei, that's
Kayaknya
very
mati
good.
deh.
So
Tapi
we
absen kayak kan
already
absen
have
sertifikat
the Zoom is
Jadi,
active, and our moderator is already over there. So
oke, lainnya.
yeah,
Mana
thank
tuh?
you, Sensei. It is very good.
Okay.
So we already have the moderator, Mas Eko from SEA-AFSID. So let's start. And then it's already streaming on the YouTube. Mas Eko, time is yours.
Okay, the host, we can start now, please.
Yes, okay.
Gak ada
Alright.
Bulgar Ilunay. Semangi dong.
Let me bring up the slides.
Mohon izin, saya kebetulan yang bertugas untuk host pada malam hari ini.
Lainnya, lintang. Laura.
Can everybody see the slides? Yes or no?
Oke, bisa dimulai, Bu. Silakan.
Can you see the slides? No. Why is that not showing?
Not yet,
Okay.
Sensei. Yeah, go
Oh.
ahead.
Try and share it again. Can you see the slide now? No, it's not showing either. Okay, 1 minute. Let me see why it's not.
Mohon izin Bapak dan Ibu, acara akan kita mulai. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Yang terhormat narasumber kita pada malam hari ini, yang kami hormati moderator serta Bapak Ibu seluruh peserta International Webinar 2026 yang berbahagia. Puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala karena atas rahmat dan karunia-Nya pada malam hari ini kita dapat berkumpul secara virtual Zoom dalam forum akademik internasional yang sangat bergengsi, yaitu SODES Asia Academy Forum on Sustainable Integrated Development. Forum akademik internasional ini merupakan inisiatif strategis yang diselenggarakan oleh SODES Asia Academic Mobility yang berlangsung secara maraton di 17 kota di 8 negara Asia Tenggara. Sejak tanggal 23 April hingga 7 Mei 2026. Kegiatan ini bertujuan untuk memperkuat sinergi akademik, mendorong publikasi ilmiah, serta menghadirkan solusi yang konkret bagi pembangunan berkelanjutan. Pada kesempatan ini, International Webinar 2026 diselenggarakan melalui kolaborasi berbagai institusi pendidikan tinggi, yaitu STIT Sunan Giri Bima, IAI Rawa Aupa Kanawe Selatan, Universitas Muhammadiyah Baru, Stikes Bina Bangsa Majene, IAI Dar Al Ulum Asahan, dan STES Tunas Palapa Tulang Bawang Barat. This collaboration reflects a strong commitment to building global academy networking and knowledge exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of our webinar tonight is as Asia in the context of higher education development Japan, Korea, and China advancement. Tema ini sangat relevan sekali mengingat pesatnya perkembangan pendidikan tinggi di kawasan Asia Timur yang telah menjadi rujukan global dalam inovasi, riset, dan pengembangan sumber daya manusia berbasis pengetahuan. We are honored to have our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Peter John Wiener from Tohoku University, Japan, who will share valuable insight and perspective on higher education advances in East Asia. Acara ini juga akan dipandu oleh moderator kita, Bapak Abdul Karim Panjaitan MPD dari Institut Agama Islam Dar Al Ulum Asahan, who will facilitate the discussion to track the session. Akhir kata, we hope this webinar will provide meaningful insight broadens our academic prospect and strategy international collaboration among scholars. Thank you. Bapak Abdul Karim Panjaitan, MPD, saya persilahkan untuk memandu acara kita pada malam hari ini.
Kasih saya makan bakwan.
Thank you very much for this time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Distinguished speaker, esteemed participant, and respected guests, good day. It is a great honor to welcome you to this international seminar. With them is Asia in the context of higher education development, Japan, Korea, and China advancement. This forum serves as a significant platform to examine the progress, strategies, and transformative development within higher education system in East Asia, particularly in Japan, Korea, and China. We are deeply privileged to have with us today Professor Peter John Weiner, PhD, a distinguished scholar whose expertise will provide valuable insight into the topic under discussion. Without further ado, it is my great pleasure to invite Professor Weiner to deliver his presentation. The floor is yours, Professor. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Let me get my slides up first. Should have had it.
Bu Lintang, slide-nya.
Mohon maaf, Pak Eko Priyadi.
Okay, let me get a slideshow set here. Slideshow. Okay. Can everybody see that? Okay. All right. Let's turn this down. Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about case study development in interdisciplinary area in East Asia. And my name is Peter John Warner, PhD. I'm at the Graduate School of International Cultural Studies at Tohoku University. And I work with the Balsamo Outreach for Learning and Teaching, which I founded 15 years ago and has been doing various outreach for publications and research collaboration throughout Asia. And we are still continuing. Below you can see the email address for Bolt, which is located at the Secretariat office in Baru. And also you can see the address balsamo.outreach.org@gmail.com for my personal, you can write to Balsamo and I will write back to you and answer any questions that you have. So this is the address you can use to get information about further information on Bolt activities that we are doing. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the different platforms that you can look at and access to get research from high academic publishers. Springer is one of these. Other academic education journals you can access, and also any Q1 high-rated journals which have a large number of people listening to them. Now, when we're looking at why these journals are important, because they usually have transparency, governance, and leadership. I'm going to cover a little bit into these three areas and discuss why these various journals have been able to maintain and work in those areas. Now, Asian countries that are involved in East Asian higher education are Japan, China, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and UNESCO. These are some of the most well-known ones. However, we have other countries that are developing and doing more, such as Indonesia. So Springer, the Springer link, which we actually can access. What is important about Springer link? Well, basically, their chapters and journals that they do are peer-reviewed. This means that they are very carefully reviewed by at least three people who will suggest to the editor and determine whether the articles are appropriate or not, and provide further advice to the authors who are writing the papers if they need to improve them. Likewise, the case studies, and one of the examples would be transfer of higher education in East Asia, case studies of Japan and China. This is one example of a case study that was done through their journal. The Journal of Springer is an open access for some chapters. They do let people get access to some of the chapters that they want. Others they do require that you have to pay a little bit to get. But the really strong developed articles, if they believe that they should be open to the full public and not have to pay for them, they do open up a few chapters for that also. Now, academia.edu, if you go on the web and look there, you'll see they have research papers and books also from various scholars. One example here would be World-Class Universities, Female Leadership in East Asian Higher Education. And it covers Peking University, Seoul National University, NKU, and University of Tokyo. These are this academic.edu. Almost everything is free. If you sign up with them, you can access any of those articles that they have. So this is a very good area to access. Another area that if, you're dealing in interdisciplinary studies is UNESCO, because you can get the actual data and very informative studies through the United Nations. So the global and regional reports of the educational policy and how these are being implemented in various areas. They have a, if they did one on education systems, one of their papers was comparative studies on education systems in East Asia. They also had a study on private higher education in East and Southeast Asia, growth, challenges, and implications. UNESCO is also a free access site. You go to unesco.org and you can access these research papers for developing your own areas also. What access restrictions are there? Well, for Springer, for example, I said they require institutional or paid access to some of their, many of their journals, but they do have open access to selected chapters. Now, what is a regional bias of listing these people that we've listed? Well, case studies are often the focus on flagship universities that have a lot of research, such as Tohoku University or Tokyo University. These universities that have more awareness of their researcher, the people who are writing at their university or teaching, can actually get publications easier. So these flagship universities may not represent the smaller universities, which actually have many good researchers also, but they have less resources, or we could say they are the less resourced institutions. It is generally known that large universities like Tohoku University is one of the, actually Tohoku University has the most research funds for research of all the universities in Japan, which is probably, and it has gotten that because of its competition and emphasis on higher education and trying to push forward more research by the professors and by the students. Now, the language that we're looking at in most cases in these journals or publications is English, of course, because it's an international language. However, there's many things that we may not access in the in this area. If we are to look at the local language research, could be it can provide insights which we can't get from the English journals. The Chinese, Japanese, Korean. These are all good resources that are being published in those languages as well. Likewise, I know in Indonesia there are many publications in Indonesian that could really help a lot of people if they might be able to access them and understand them. So what is an appropriate platform for exploring case studies systematically? Well, Spring Link for peer-reviewed academic depth is one of them. Because it does academic depth peer reviews. Again, I said academia.edu shares a lot of their research. Actually, it's very open to everybody. And UNESCO is very well known for the policy level perspectives, the regulations, and the rules that we can place in effect to implement the policies and things that we can actually improve our society with. The combination of these three types of areas with a view of Asian higher education systems can provide us with a better understanding of governance reform and gender equality in our leadership. Now I'm going to move to some well-known authors, and why are they well-known, who are publishing them throughout Asia. For example, one of these authors will be Ji-Soon Jung from the University of Hong Kong. He specializes in comparative higher educational policy and internationalization. Also has co-authored many major works on East Asia, contributions to the global higher education research. So if you're interested in these areas, I highly recommend that you read some of the articles by Ji-Soon Jung. Another person is Hugo Horta, University of Hong Kong. The research focuses on research collaboration networks and systematic development in East Asia universities. Likewise, he's well known for his analyzing publication trends and internationalization. Another researcher is Akiyoshi Yonezawa from Tohoku University, Japan. She is an expert on quality assurance, governance, and higher education reforms in Japan, East Asia. She's in our Asian Studies department of Tohoku University. She frequently is frequently cited in comparative studies about Asian higher education. We have one department that is quite large, assigned only to Asian higher education. Furthermore, another person from the United States, Altbach Philip G. from Boston College. Even though he's not East Asian, his comparative work on the Asian universities is a foundation, and it's also widely referenced inside the region, especially in the United States. Myself, Peter John Water, I've done intensive research on childhood bilingualism in first language development, really concentrating on language transfer. I've also worked on human securities area, and one of the Q1 articles, which was published just in the past 3 years, Spring Theory and the Resilience for Tsunami Earthquake Awareness, telling how we can prepare and provide a resilient environment and be able to sustain ourselves. So what are the themes? I just talked about the authors. What's the importance of some themes in researchers' work? Let me move forward to some themes. Internationalization theme. Okay. In internationalization, we can see a lot of work in cross-border student mobility. This could be done by looking at probably activities that promote students to travel to different cultures and learn by doing intensive seminars or other areas. One of these would be the student mobility program, which Dr. Weke has had in place for 15 years. And if you're interested in the student mobility program, you can actually attend that this October. So if you go to our homepage, you'll be able to see the full schedule in October for the student mobility if you'd like to join that. Dr. Weke and I will also be in that program. The global rankings. The global rankings is very important for another study of internationalization. Everybody is looking at global rankings of universities and comparing them, and even rankings in Indonesia are very important because they're important for the accreditation process that you have in your universities. So global rankings are also another area of study. How do we improve our accreditation process of the universities? There are studies that actually tell us what we can do to move up from a lower level of a C to a B or a B to an A. And we also have collaboration networks, which are provided by memorandum of agreement or letters of intent from other universities. Governance and quality assurance. Well, governance and quality assurance provides transparency, accountability, and also institutional reforms. So there's a lot of research that looks at how money is being spent or where it's being spent, especially in government or in companies. Like accountability, who is responsible, and making sure that what they explain is true. Institutional reforms, what reforms do they put in place to improve the efficiency of a company or the government or some program that you have in place? So governance and quality assurance is important. Equity and leadership. What's the gender representation of the people who are working on research in your area? For example, in the university, how many women are working in the university and how many men are working in the university? How many women are in positions of a dean or vice president or those areas in a university? Leadership diversity. How diverse is our leadership? The ideas, are the ideas very diverse, or are they pretty common and similar? East Asian universities, there's a lot of study on East Asian universities that are trying to develop, and what are their programs, comparing which program is better than the other. These analysis of programs might help students decide which universities they're actually going to want to go to. Systematic development. How does national policies shape research productivity and global integration? So we need to look at this area as well. So now I'm going to try and map out some of the top journals and conferences. Again, like I said, for higher education, Springer is a very well documented journal. It's highly it has a lot of Q1 publications, and it's publishes in many areas. So it's a global flagship journal. It regularly features comparative studies of Asian systems. And this is a journal that you could apply to. It covers governance, internationalization, and it covers quality assurance. Likewise, Asian Pacific Educational Review, which is done by Springer, this focuses on the strong representation of the East Asian scholars. Likewise, it looks at articles on policy reforms, student mobility, and cultural performance. A couple of other journals you might be interested in applying for publishing in would be Journal of Higher Education Policy and Management. Here they look at research on governance, leadership, and institutional management. So if you're in the management or the financial sector, this would probably be a journal that would be very good for you if you're looking at one of the top 10% journals of 10 with 10% of the articles in it. Often includes case studies from Japan and Korea, China, and Hong Kong. So they choose journals from all the various areas. International Higher Education in Boston College. Boston in America has a lot of East Asian studies. And the Asian Studies department there is very, very strong. They have a short policy-oriented articles widely cited that in many of the East Asian debates. Furthermore, it's accessible and it's influential in shaping policy decisions. They're one of the colleges that are widely documented. Higher Education Quarterly, Wiley. Wiley is a journal that is used by many of the graduate students from Tohoku University. It's one of the journals that is listed in the top 10%, which most graduate students who are performing a doctor's degree might use as one of their journals to publish and get accepted in. It's known for their analysis of publication trends and co-authorization networks throughout Eastern Asia. Some major conferences I'd like to talk about. These are international conferences that you can also look up. Asia Pacific Association for International Education. This is an annual conference which rotates around Asia Pacific cities in different countries. Also, it focuses on internationalization, student mobility, and institutional partnership. If you go to your web page and you search for this conference, then you can go ahead and put forward an abstract and possibly do a presentation there, and then even put something inside their publications. Comparative and International Educational Society. If you're dealing with education, they really concentrate on global conference with strong East Asian panels. They have many panels from East Asia. Also, they cover comparative case studies and systematic reforms. I'm covering East Asian because this is what we're covering today. I'm not covering other areas of major conferences. International Conference on Higher Education is dedicated to higher education research. And also it brings together scholars from China, Japan, Korea, and beyond. The World Conference on Higher Education is a UNESCO conference, very, very highly attended, well known, has a global scope, but the East Asia participation is very, very strong. The policy level decisions on equality, governance, and sustainability in all the developing countries is strongly emphasized in this conference. So in conclusion, the importance of the matter of East Asian publications and research, well, the visibility is very important. Publishing in these higher education areas or presenting at these levels ensures global outreach, global reach to people outside so that they know what these areas are we have, and we can share this information with other areas throughout Asia, which have probably similar cultures to ours. Also, the regional relevance. Why is it relevant? Because we have a Asia Pacific Educational Review, which is probably more tied to the relevance of the Asian education system. And we have the ICHEA platforms that are tailored to the East Asian context. What is the impact? Well, the impact is these UNESCO conferences, these international higher educational articles, they influence the government strategies. These really do implement what the government decides to do. They look at these articles. You can use them as a source when you're trying to promote some strategy that you would think should be used in the government for improving your education. So in conclusion, you can go to the https://bolt.unmubaroid or balsamoutreach.org at gmail.com and access these various areas. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Abdul Karim.
Right. Thank you, Paul. Are you enough with your presentation?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Today, participant, do you have something asking to Professor Peter? Hello, participant.
Yeah,
Audience.
maybe before the other participant have questions, Sensei, would you like to explore what is the possibilities for collaboration? Since our friend here, Pak Eko Priadi, he is from Asahan. So hopefully in the near future, when you visit us here in Indonesia once again, we can have another opportunity to visit him in North Sumatra, or maybe you can explore another opportunity like ASEAN Youth Forum and the one that we will have in Vietnam for the end of the year.
Okay.
Please, Sensei.
Okay, let me touch. Hold on. Let me touch on a few of the areas that are possible for people to attend with Bolt or with the student mobility that we have coming up. In August, we're going to be having a seminar in Sendai in which the students or students can come for a student summer camp, and they can do some presentations at the seminars we have, or they can also visit three or four universities we have set up at the for the program. We also have a cultural outreach where they go to see sites such as the Matsushima, which was affected by the tsunami and earthquake, and how they recovered from that earthquake and are a very active tourist site now, bringing in more tourists than they actually had, from 10,000 up to 40,000 a year now. So you can see what they did for implementing that to make it so effective. Furthermore, the other one we have coming up is the October. October is the student mobility, which will be in Malaysia, Thailand, and Singapore. Malaysia, Thailand, and Singapore. So if you go there, you can go by bus to each of these three countries for like a week, and you can do some presentations. You can do interaction with the various activities. You can understand the cultures more, and you can also develop your English much more while you are at the conferences there. Likewise, the We have 3 conferences in Dalat, which will be happening from December the 17th through December 17th through December 23rd. Not just Dalat and Ho Chi Minh, and we'll be having a meeting in Da Nang, but Ho Chi Minh and Dalat are the main areas we are concentrating on. And in Dalat, we'll have a seminar which students and teachers can do presentations on areas of interdisciplinary, anything dealing with East Asia, like I talked about today. And if you want to publish those things in a journal, we have a collaboration with certain university journals, which you could possibly put your paper forward and try to see if you can get it published. So those universities that we do have the collaboration with are peer reviewed. So not all papers are accepted, but at least you can try to publish it. And if it doesn't get accepted, the one you can try at another place. But it's a good opportunity for you. The Language Education Conference, which we have at Dalat, is a large conference concentrating on language education and will center around the theme of autonomous learning. So how do students provide the teachers with a better understanding of how they would like to see the teaching of the classroom progress, and how can they help the teacher to understand that? Likewise, how the teacher themselves, how can they try to understand the students better and give them more autonomy over how they learn. So this is autonomy in the classroom.
Seminar ini apa tuh nih?
That one-day conference which we'll be having. Dalat is a very beautiful place. If you have not been to Dalat, Vietnam, it's very safe. You can get there by a direct flight from Kuala Lumpur. They have 2 or 3 direct flights a week because it's most popular site for tourism and well known for its beauty. Therefore, most people who get married or want to celebrate anniversaries, a lot of them go up to Dalat because it's cooler than the rest of Vietnam. It's up on the top of a mountain, and it's about maybe 10 degrees lower than Ho Chi Minh or other areas around Vietnam. So these are 3 of the seminars and things that we have going. We also have in Indonesia. If you can't do the international things, we have seminars at various universities in Indonesia. When I come and do the tours, a seminar tour, and stop by various universities or conferences and do presentations and workshops. And likewise, I also am active with the student summer camp or student academic camps in Indonesia, trying to help build the education of the youth even before they start college. So working with the younger people also. But I really enjoy coming to Indonesia, and I thank Dr. Weke for making it possible for me to have these collaborations with so many universities and areas, because I couldn't do those without his help. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. As moderator, I catch the presentation about the development of higher education in East Asia demonstrate that the advancement of Japan, Korea, and China is not slowly driven by national policies and institutional innovation, but also by a strong global academic ecosystem. The role of Springer and maintaining international research standards, Academia Edu in platform, expanding academic network, and UNESCO in promoting global educational frameworks has significantly contributed to enhancing research quality and visibility. Moreover, this progress underscores the critical importance of collaboration among universities across nations and between academy and industry as a key driver of building innovative, inclusive, and globally competitive higher education system. And Professor John Weiner give us the information and how position is Korea, like Japan, Korea, and China in higher education. Many information like Springer, like Academy Edu, that focus research, and Springer focus to show publish our research, and we have free access like that. And the important for higher education development, like governance and transparency. Because without good governance and transparency, we not get the higher education. And for participant, do you have some question again?
There are questions out there. I don't have questions. I'm waiting for questions from you.
Hello, all of the audience.
Okay, Mr. Karim, I have a question. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Prof. Peter, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to meet you tonight.
Yes.
I have two questions. First question, in the era of artificial intelligence and digital academic transformation right now, how do you foresee the future of traditional academic journals and international conference over the next 5 to 10 years?
I don't, okay. I don't see them changing that much. The only thing I would see is the printed journals are decreasing because of the cost. The what we're going to see is the printed journals. Basically, we're going to see a lot of publications online, and then just expecting people to access them there, and then they can download them and print them themselves. But to actually see the printed journals in libraries and stuff, that I think is going to disappear. And what we've seen in, for example, Tokyo Library is very large, has many books and many things. But I think in the future, everything is going to be digitalized, which is probably going to help the environment because of less use of paper. But also, it puts more reliance on the accessing from the internet. And if we ever had a lack of electricity or can't access, then maybe it'd be difficult for us to access those areas. But usually those circumstances can be overcome. So I think research will continue in the same way, but it's just not going to be documented in the same way. It'll be documented electronically. And this is happening in publishing everything, actually. Even in our meetings that we have on developments at the university. All of our meetings, we used to have large papers and then go through our meetings. with 40 or 50 pages of paper. And now we go through 40 or 50 pages on electronic computers, and we're all expected to bring our own digital computer and follow along with the computer. So this is also happening in classrooms, actually, also. Not dealing with actually publications from books. The students actually are reading from books that are actually inside computers in some schools, in some areas. Even starting in elementary school and elementary school, junior high, probably junior high school and high school specifically. My son even had a school that he attended in junior high school in Philippines, and they did not use textbooks. They used the iPad, and all the material was on the iPad. So they had special agreements for the textbooks in the iPads, and everybody had access to that. This helps out in many ways. It reduces the cost for the schools. It provides books and things for the students. With open journals and with the lower cost to actually include more articles online, I believe that we will have more research out there. We'll have more research digitally processed, and there'll be more opportunities for all of us as researchers to possibly publish our research ourselves. Does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you, sir. The last question. The last question,
Yeah.
Prof. So, according to you, what is the best strategy for small or developing universities, like many university in Indonesia today, to build international academic visibility without having resources comparable to elite universities across the world?
Okay. I think AI and computers has a very strong impact in that. One of the ways is what we're doing today. We're doing an online seminar online. If the universities want to do some joint lectures or something with other universities that have some well-known researcher, then those universities might invite them to talk online to the class, or at a university event they might have for a seminar. And we see more of the hybrid seminars or conferences at universities now, because not everybody can always come or to present in an area. It's very expensive to bring in the presenters, and likewise, people are busy, so not most people would like to spend 3.5 days to get to Indonesia to present at 3 or 4 universities, and then have to come back for another 3.5 days traveling between various countries. However, so that's probably why there might be less international presenters going into Indonesia, where other countries have direct flights to the main location. And with that, it's also much cheaper because more people are going to the areas like that, such as Tokyo. So the online conferences, I think, is the biggest, has made the biggest difference. And it is becoming more well incorporated to provide collaborative efforts between universities and researchers throughout the world, I believe.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eko. And once more again, become our time till 20 WIB. So the moderator just can give the one person again, the one participant to ask about the theme to Peter Weiner, Professor. One participant again.
Participant asked about what? About the student camp? Student camp? What was the question?
Not yet.
Yeah, go
What?
ahead,
Prof.
Sensei, to explore about ASEAN Youth Forum. What's the experience that we already have, and then how to foster the collaboration between
Oh, okay,
universities for ASEAN Youth Forum.
okay. Um, for the student, the Asian Youth Forum programs that we have, in effect, are a program which actually brings students together to incorporate. If you try to do a student youth forum online, the difference between a student youth forum online and a student youth forum where students from other cultures actually get together and see each other and communicate with each other is quite different. And as I've said before, it's the physical contact with other cultures and with other researchers or professors that actually helps us to make a stronger, deeper impression so that they have more commitment and more desire to work with you or collaborate with you on your research. And likewise, this is what happens in this Asian Youth Forum. Students work together in groups to give presentations, and they do group efforts to go on excursions outside. Likewise, they present, for example, this last Asian Youth Forum, 6 students got up in front of the whole 250 teachers and they presented their perspective of language education and the impact of AI and how it should be used, so that the teachers understood the students' perspective as well as the teacher's perspective, which was covered throughout that whole teachers conference that we had. The student mobility program is very unique in that it draws together students mostly from Indonesia going to like I said, the 3 countries that I mentioned, and traveling throughout Asia there to get a better idea and to become better friends with students from other universities in Indonesia where they may not meet each other otherwise. So these are all aspects that we try to incorporate. We also want to incorporate the idea that everybody is equal, that all cultures have something to offer, and we need to be open-minded to try to understand those cultures. And with better understanding of all the cultures, we will have less problems, like we have many problems today. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. You have explained about the position education in Japan, Korea, and China in the context of higher education development. The investment of higher education in East Asia highlight the importance of strong government, right? Transparency and effective institutional framework in driving sustainable development, right, Prof?
Yes.
Countries such as Japan, Korea, and China have demonstrated the progress in research and academic excellence is closely linked to visionary leadership, equality in access, and the strategic use of language in global engagement. Furthermore, the contribution of Springer, Academic Edu, and UNESCO reinforce the significance of global collaboration, knowledge dissemination, and international standard in higher education. In conclusion, is sustainable and globally competitive higher. Sorry.
Okay.
sustainable and global competitive, yeah.
As we
Higher education system can be achieved through the integration of good government, inclusive policies, strong research culture, and continuous collaboration at both institutional and international levels, right? Research together on international webinar right now.
So
And
that you summarized a lot of the areas I talked about. What is the question? What is the one question? You have a question?
no, Prof. I'm
Oh,
your moderator.
okay. So you were just summarizing what
I just conclude your time issues.
Okay, thank you. Yes, yes, yes.
Because our time is over.
Okay.
And enough until now, Prof. One statement from you before we close this webinar, Prof.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank all the participants who stayed up late tonight to work with me on this here. I'm going to be here overnight and leaving in the morning at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning and finally getting back to Japan. So thank you again to everybody who I might have met or any universities that invited me over there to be involved with the seminars. I'd like to again thank Dr. Wecke especially for organizing the transportation and travel arrangements and working with all the universities to make it possible for me to come there. I always look forward to coming and seeing everybody there every year. And that's why I try to come there at least 2 or 3 times a year to see you again and express ways that we can continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your available time, Rob. And we back to host. Thank you, and I'm sorry for my mistake. Dikembalikan kepada host.
As we come to the end of this insightful session, yes, thank you very much. As we come to the end of the insightful session, we would like to express our sense appreciate to special speaker, Professor Peter from Japan for the valuable knowledge and perspective shared with us this evening. We also extend our gratitude MPD for the discussion so thankfully and engagingly. Bapak, Ibu, dan seluruh peserta yang provides meaningful insights, increased our collaboration across border. Akhir kata, saya mewakili panitia penyelenggara mengucapkan terima kasih atas partisipasi aktif seluruh peserta dalam International Webinar 2026 ini. Semoga forum ini terus menjadi ruang kolaborasi ilmiah yang produktif dan berkelanjutan. Stay connected, stay inspired, and keep contributed to the advancement of knowledge. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam.
host. Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam
moderator,
warahmatullahi
Mas Eko,
wabarakatuh.
and everyone from Lampung. We have Stickers Bina Bangsa from Majene. We have friend from Asahan. We have friend from Makassar and everyone. Don't forget to fill the attendance, and then our team from Mas Eko and Akbar will send you the certificate. Thank you. Have a nice afternoon.